What's up, Cowboys Nation? How we doing? Hope everybody's doing well on this Wednesday, as I've now dubbed Shiesty Wednesday. Happy George Pickens Day, if you will, right? Oh man, what a time! In an honor of the Dallas Cowboys going ahead and making the trade happen for Pickens. I said, well, let me don some Georgia colors, right? I got the red Cowboys cap, the black on, some bulldog colors for our guy Pickens as he's coming in the building, set to land here. We got here on this has got my visor and my shiesty for next season. There we go. The shoddy visor, the shiesty for our guy Pickens. David Jenkins, what's good? Can you dig it, sucker? Some spinner Rudies. Hey, some spinner Rudies today for sure for Cowboys Nation. Darnell, what's good? Kind of checking in here to see what's up. That's how they can stay mad, Joseph. Stay mad. They'll be all right. They'll be all right. What do we got here? King says, Jane said, don't be greedy, shut down all the other rumors. Just have to wait and see, man. You just never know. Just got to wait and see how this thing goes. I mean, let's be clear. This is something that ultimately the Cowboys were working on with Seattle for over a week now. And there wasn't a single drop or morsel of information about what was going on until the very tail end when the deal was getting done. So we'll play it by ear and see where it's at. Wrench gang in the building. Bang, my guy Mendoza. What's good? It was good. Rail, what's good? I see you over there. Man. Hey, what a time to be alive, though, right? I said, I'm no longer pissed about Critchwell. You got to let it play out a little bit, huh? You got to let things land, and let's going on. Yeah, there you go, King. Absolutely, very very zipped lips, if you will, on the backside when it comes to the Cowboys this offseason. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So let's get to the brass tacks, right? In case you've been underneath the rock, right? The Cowboys acquire George Pickens from the Steelers for a 2026 third-round pick. And then the following draft, due at 2027, we sent a fifth and we received a sixth. So they get a third next draft, a fifth the following draft. We get Pickens right now, and then we get back a sixth in 2 drafts from now. You know what I mean? Patient, David. We definitely got some merch as the star turns. We definitely got some merch on the way. I'm just grinding some things on the back end, so just give me some time. That's what's going to be hitting here soon enough. I'll get out of here. So, adequate for, a wide receiver just turned 24 in March. Early return is he's going to play on the 1-year deal, right? And then they'll kind of go from there. Keynote, same agent as Micah Parsons, who's up for an extension, obviously. I think for me, I want to see an extension done. And it looks, at least currently right now, that's in the cards for this season. The Cowboys could play the game, go through the season, franchise tag, extend, let him walk in free agency. You're probably going to get a pretty comparable comp back. You kind of move from there. But I'm hoping at the tail end of all that we're going to see a situation where we'll have Dak Lamb and Pickens together for the foreseeable future. Not just this season, but maybe an extra 2 to 4 seasons beyond that. I'm hoping for. Of the day, the Cowboys have the money, $37 million free currently. Your draft's going to cost you about $4 to $5 million. You're going to receive an extra bonus of 10 or so million whenever the Micah extension gets done. Right? right? There's some contracts to be had, right? You got the Ferguson contract coming up, the Tober contract coming up, the Deron Bland contract coming up. Please say everybody they do anymore. They've already picked your options to cover there. And currently the blinking light right now is the Micah contract going into year 4, right? So again, there's money on the books that they have available, but some guys that they need to tie up, obviously, sooner than later. You don't want to get to next year with all those guys with contracts expiring. But right there, Ouija Joseph, I'd like to get at least 3, huh? How about it? Can we get at least 3? And see where that goes. With that being said, my guy Spony,
what's going on, bro?
Happy, welcome to Shiesty Wednesday. Okay,
Yes.
And maybe for the foreseeable future, I'm gonna just everyone's got to do a show. We're just gonna call it Shiesty Wednesday. Maybe I'm retiring Hoodie Nix, and it's gonna be Shiesty Nix this year. I don't know yet.
Oh, listen, man, it's a good thing to be shiesty on Wednesday after the night we had last night with the George Pickens rumors. Cowboy Nation, we had a lot of fun. We had fun. What was going on? And then this morning, a lot of us barely had any sleep. I know I barely had sleep. I know you barely had any sleep. And come to find out about 7:30, 8ish my time. Boom, here we go. So, fun times. I'm happy. Something for us to look forward to during the off season. As of now, going to training camp. This is a different team, different culture, having good different things. But hats off to the front office for really getting after it. Really, really getting after it. Between free agency, the draft, and now this move. And let's see what else they have in store.
Yeah. As Mendoza said, imagine them shiesty sermons, Spony. Some shiesty sermons. I almost thought you might pull up with the shiesty today, being up there in Brooklyn. Yeah, you already know the drill. Beard Gang is in the building, always with me and Spoon, right?
Yes,
it is what it is. So yeah, man, it's just one thing for me. I was talking about it last night. As news was kind of circulating, it was just kind of coming out and whatnot, and just kind of going through it. And I'm just like, it's fan base in general. Just from the Green Bay playoff loss to how things just transpired through all last season. Yeah, needed a dub, man. Fandom needed a dub in a major way. We got the Washington reprieve, right? We went to Washington and beat Washington, and that was cool and all. We needed a dub, and I tell you, right. Running the space this morning and having the conversation with Cowboys Nation, and just the octaves were higher, right? Like it was, there was, a lightness to the air, and people excited, and I'm like, man, I was happy about that. I've just been, hours and hours I've spent on the spaces and whatnot doing content, and just, man, it's been so downbeaten and downtrodden, right, throughout over a calendar year, if you will. So to hear a lot of those voices be a little uplifted today, it's pretty cool. That's part of fandom that, it should be fun. It shouldn't always be, gloom and doom and whatnot. And today, definitely one of those days, man, it's going to be pretty damn fun, right? It's a pretty fun day to be a Cowboys fan.
100%, man. And, even, with the fans and including us and stuff like that, we've always wanted more for this team. We look at other teams and we see what they've been doing to get better, for them to compete for that big prize that we haven't had in a long time. And that's what it's always been. So anytime when we heard, some news and things of that nature, we quick to, okay, this is great, but I don't think they're gonna do it X, Y, and Z. And this has been a big change for a long time. Big change. And I don't recall an off season like this for a very long time where we were making moves. The coaching staff, we're now gravitating to what the coaching staff wants to do for this roster. We're seeing it. We were slowly getting back on that train, and that. And I get it. I totally get it. But at the same time, we're gonna celebrate today. We're gonna celebrate tomorrow because I really believe this is not the last move they're gonna make. I believe they're gonna make another move. to improve this roster. And this is all we've been asking for as Cowboys fans. Now, once we get everything installed, once we go to training camp, we start hearing the other stuff, then we'll know where we at. But it feels good. It feels good.
Yeah, I need you not to be so greedy, Spoony. You just got Pickens, all right? That's where you're at. It's about more movement.
Make some more.
All right,
make some
look
more.
at you. Just feel good. Just feel good. Okay, about getting Pickens. All right, and say, hey, we did it. And look, and it's on the heels, right? We're just barely a little bit over a week. I guess maybe a week and a half away from the draft. And you kind of look at the draft that the Cowboys were able to accomplish, or what they were able to accomplish in the draft, and going BPA. And like I said, as we wrapped up the draft, I'll say, man, day 2 of the 25 draft, easily the best draft day that we've had in the past 3 drafts. It was a phenomenal day of drafting there. But overall, they just really did a great job of sticking to the board and getting things done. And now you come out of that. We talked about you wasn't going to be able to accomplish all the deficits on this roster via the draft. There's just too many of them. And unfortunately, what happened was you didn't get the wide receiver. They rolled up their sleeves, right? We go back to immediately after the draft. Jerry Jones said, that train hasn't left the station. There's still work to do. We got to that Monday, Tuesday afterwards. There was reports that they were going through, doing their due diligence, looking and trying to work on things as far as it comes to getting to a wide receiver. We heard the Amari Cooper rumblings and whatnot. And ultimately, the Cowboys worked in silence. All right, G's move in silence. Okay, apparently that's what I heard one time. And they get the job done when it comes to Pickens. And again, you add that into what they did in the draft, man, it's just a phenomenal week and a half here, right, of talent acquisition in the right manner here that helps them across the board.
Yes, 100. And and that was the thing. We had so much of a good draft and we didn't get our receiver that it got a little bit nervousome. Don't get me wrong, but for them to hit a home run like this, we aced the draft. I told you the train has not left the station yet. We're still working on something, and you deliver. And as Melvin came out and said, and a few others in the chat, it's a great day to be a Cowboy fan. It really, really is. Take it all in. This is great. This is great. And the thing is now, you look inside the NFC East, you tell yourself, even though our roster is not yet filled up yet all the way, we still feel good about our chances moving forward to compete against the champs, the Eagles, and the NFC champs, the Eagles, the Washington football team, and the New York Giants. And just by getting this move, because this move right here, and like even right now across networks talking about it currently, this was a big splash move. Big splash move. Jerry always said he's never afraid to make any big moves. Well, he did. He did today. And again, I'm not trying to be greedy, BJ. I'm not. But when you go to the candy store and you get that nice candy that you love, sometimes you can have one. You need maybe 2 or 3. So I still feel it's some more candy that Jerry wants to buy. Bring on that candy.
I think that candy's probably coming. Yeah, that candy's probably coming around the June 1st cuts.
Yeah. Probably so.
That's probably where it's at. But as we are, on this Shiesty Wednesday, happy George Pickens Day. I appreciate everybody across all social media platforms that are currently tuned in. If you're not on YouTube, by all means, your Guy Nix, just come over to YouTube, join on that side. Because what I'm going to do, I don't want to share all the fun here, me and Spoony. I'm going to drop the link over here on the YouTube channel. And if you want to come up here, camera on or not, doesn't matter. Give us your take. I kind of want to celebrate a little bit with the fan base as well that's tuned in here and where it is as we're kind of getting it off and talking about some of these other takes. So if you're on the other social media sides, whether that's Twitter or X, Facebook, slide over here to, I got to grab something here. Slide on over here to YouTube, and I'm dropping the link in the YouTube comment section. And feel free to hit the link. You can join off your phone or anything and come on up and, tell us how you're feeling today as a Cowboys fan. You're boom, you drop that. to right for me, ultimately, and kind of as soon as the draft ended, and tying this over here, and I'm going to tie this over here to the George Pickens trade, was that the post draft conference, and Schottenheimer said, "I'm here to build a team, not collect talent." Right, and I thought it was very interesting because to me, it's bars like, and look, right, you have to have talent, right, as you're building a team. Don't get it twisted, but there's a particular set of skills, if you will, that I'm looking for in what we're trying to do, and what we come to understand through the draft process was they wanted Ted McMillan. That was the number one guy on their board. That's who they would have took at 12 if he was available. And you think about the skill set and what he provides that he would have provided if the Cowboys would have drafted him. There wasn't really another wide receiver in the draft that kind of did what he did when it came to that, right? So you get through the draft, they don't get nobody. Okay, the draft came and went. What do? They get out here, roll up the sleeves, and they go acquire a guy that does the same type of skill set that a Ted McMillan did. So what it tells me is when they peruse this roster, they peruse what they needed the wide receiver room and what the scheme is going to be. They needed a particular type of guy to pair with Lamb and what they wanted. Excuse me, not just any wide receiver. They want a wide receiver with a particular set of skills, and what that means and what he brings to the table. And they didn't just go get a guy; they took their time. They were able to go land a guy after the draft that checks those boxes for them and what he brings to the table. So again, sticking to the guns. What I've loved throughout the early leadership part of this coaching staff underneath Schottenheimer is the way they went about acquiring talent. Ultimately, sure, getting the or getting the extra money off of Dak still and not really doing much with it. Frustrating for me. I talked about that a ton. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But now you have some guys with contracts we just talked about a little bit earlier that, okay, let's go get some of these extensions tied up so we don't have to worry about it next year. If you take that money and use that cash flow and influx that into the team and getting some contracts done, now I'm okay with this backside here and what you did with that money. But again, they had a particular type of player they want, a particular type of positions, and they've really gotten after that. And I know there's been a lot of pushback today to a certain extent when it came to, well, the culture. I mean, there's been all the culture, the right kind of guy or whatever, and he's not that. I beg to differ because what Schottenheimer said, he talks about the culture. If you go all the way back to his original press conference we got announced as the head coach, was we need guys that love football. We need guys that are going to play hard. Pickens checks those boxes, right? So is there some maturing things on field at times? Okay, I can buy that. But that's where your coach is supposed to come into play and help a 24-year-old guy who just turned 24 out. But as far as the culture and what they're trying to do within the building, and you kind of look at the draft and the guys they kind of drafted, physicality, things that they're doing there. But ultimately, right, love football, play hard. He does those things, and that's part of the culture that Schottenheimer's trying to build, Spoon.
Yeah, and it's a great plan. It's a great plan in place, especially for the type of coaches he has hired. The movement, the talks about let's have Dak and Micah sit together. Your two best players as captains of this whole team. And I'll say it like this: he was a substitute teacher. And now he has been hired to run this whole classroom, and he wants his classroom different. This is what he's bringing in, and getting a guy like Pickens who loves football. Yes, there's wording about his attitude, whatever the case may be. Listen, let's be honest. We all could be knuckleheads when it comes to playing a sport. Where if you don't get the ball, X and Y, it's a normal thing. As long as he's not doing, he's never been involved with anything off the field where it could be very scary to even want to take a chance. That's never been. Now he gets to get a new start, fresh start, somewhere with a proven quarterback. And let's be honest, if we could all Google and see the types of quarterback he has had, it hasn't been that good for him. So of course, you're going to get frustrated. You're going to get frustrated. It happens. But you get to come to this team, and for the amount of leaders that we have on this roster, he's gonna be okay. You got Dak. You're gonna have Parsons. You're gonna have CeeDee Lamb. You know, you're gonna have good players, talented players, guys who will be able to just communicate with him where he's gonna fall right in line and be part of this football team. And hats off to the front office. Hats off to the Schottenheimer. At the end of the day, this is what you. These are the little things you need besides talent. It's not always about talent. It's always about that will. That you want these guys to run to play for each other, run through that wall for each other. It's about inches. And when you have everybody understanding that, a beautiful thing can happen. Beautiful things can happen. And these are the things. These are the things that were happening a long time ago when the Cowboys were winning in the '90s. That culture. It's
Right.
you hear when you hear Aikman, Emmett, Irving, Dion, any other former Cowboy, they all talk about it. They always talk about it. So, you know, I'm very happy, and BJ, I just can't wait to see what we could put on that field moving forward. You know, and this is great.
No,
This
big
is
facts. Uh, King, real quick, chimed in and said, why do you think no one wants to start the Samuel? Shoulder. He has a shoulder situation.
right.
Kicked him out of most of last year. And I think it's just medical is where it's at right now for him. And flag on Asante Samuel Jr. at the moment when it comes to that. And then backdoored that with Mike Hilton, right? I mean, if you're looking for a slot guy, which I actually talked about in the space earlier today, Mike Hilton's a guy for me that can make a lot of sense for them in the slot, depending on how they want to attack the slot. I'm not so sure we
Right.
don't see maybe Deron Bland go back to the slot this year. But again, if that's not the case, Mike Hilton, consummate professional, uh, has played the slot at a pretty high level. Now, I haven't checked on him what he did last season. I have to kind of go back and see and do some due diligence there as it pertains to Hilton. But Hilton would make a lot of sense, you know, for me. Joseph says, I think part of what caused Pickens on that out maybe due to the fact that he was being stuck in mediocrity in Pittsburgh and with a terrible quarterback play. You know, if I was a pro receiver, I would hate it there. And here's the thing with the reports or relationships with the quarterbacks there either. And for all intents and purposes, most of his teammates absolutely loved him in the building and whatnot. Now, the things at times with, you know, we saw right when we played him, right? And at the end of the game, what he did with Jordan Lewis, okay, you probably don't want those things, right? You don't want those things, you know, but, you know, it's kind of more in that realm in where it's at. Real quick, I did drop the link for anyone that wants to join, and I pinned it to the top. So if you come in here, you should see it. Let me double check and make sure it's there. I think you can see it right there at the top of the chat. Yeah, it's up there. If you hit that link and come up here and join the broadcast as well, too. I definitely agree, Joe. Checking it from all the way from Italy, says they used to say the same thing about Des Bryant, that he was a cancer in the locker room, and look what he did on the field. He balled out. Absolutely,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
It's a difference between just being all the way in your passion for the game versus you just being a bad teammate, and that's not something like you as you said, BJ. His former teammates have thought about him at all. They really loved him, and that just so now he gets to come over here on this side and see what it is about being a Cowboy and performing that way. But you know, I'll be very honest, and I'll say this: George Pickens, okay, it's a dog. And I know coaches are never going to say that, you know, they say the right words like, hey, we need a guy who wants to play. No, they want a guy who, when it's time to really stick it in, you're going to stick it in. And that's what it matters. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, when you look at the NFC East, you look at Philadelphia, you look at Washington, these guys added some good pieces last year to improve their football team. George Pickens is the type of player that we need to go against their defense. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's that dog in him, and the more you add on, the better it gets. The better it gets for you to compete and see how far can we go with this talented roster. That's what it's all about. He fits the bill. I don't understand. since a player not being
Big facts.
happy where he's at. I mean, not where he's at, but not being happy with the performance or mediocrity, that he's a problem. Players do get frustrated. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're not doing anything to jeopardize your football team, that's what matters. And I haven't seen anything with George Pickens doing any of those things in Pittsburgh at all.
Cowboys front office says, so who do y'all predict is the best chance to be wide receiver 3, Tobin or Mingo? I think it's probably matchup, right? It's probably matchup based. And Sean Harper's kind of been pretty clear about that, even with the backfield, right? What does the matchup look like? What does it call for this game? And I think that's kind of where this thing is at as well, too, when it comes into Mingo, Tolbert. Look, I think Turbin's going to have his opportunities as well, more than we've seen in the past, and how they're trying to attack things. I do think now, from the wide receiver room, the Cowboys are only going to carry 6 wide receivers. Boy, you want to talk about a dog fight for number 6, right? Because, I mean, all right, we're booking Lamb, all right? We're booking Perkins. Mingo, Tolbert, that's 4. Turpin ain't going nowhere. You just got the 3-year extension. That's 5. So that leaves Holden, Flournoy, Paris Campbell, Jalen Brooks, Kelly from Texas Tech. I mean, all those guys are bailing it out for 6. You know, now maybe they change it up and they do carry 7, right? Possible. But we've seen them with the propensity to just carry 6. Well, that's a dog fight for 6.
Yeah, it is. And here's the thing now. Treshaun Holden, that's going to be the guy. You know, we all going to, of course, want to see the duo between, in preseason, we don't get to see the starters as much as, you know, but it'll be still good to see George Pickens in the Cowboy uniform opposite of CeeDee Lamb. But Treshaun Holden, how much you're going to have to really jump Flournoy, Jalen Brooks, Mingo, Tolbert. That's a big leap. And this kid is coming here very strong-minded, and he's going to put in that work. So even with the Pickens move, the competition just got harder for these other receivers, because before they thought the number 2 spot. Well, if you get the number 2, you get number 3, you get number 4. Now the Pickens got that number 2, 3, 4, and 5, and possibly 6. And the thing is, let's be honest, when it comes down to it, if the Cowboys want to, if of course, Dak Prescott will make that decision as well. Tolbert, Mingo was a 4th-round pick. That's already 4 right there. 2 more spots. The 5 and number 6. If they decide to keep 6, but I'm going with 5 and 6. So that's going to be either Flournoy, Treshaun Holden, Brooks, Josh Kelly. So it's going to be a nice fight for those positions, in my opinion. Going in, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch.
I mean, competition, lots of competition there. I think that'll be a theme in general as it pertains to training camp. There's a lot of competition this year. But yeah, the room's thick, right? Wide receiver, you know, hey, you know, it's pretty thick. So yeah, it's you know, wherever you thought you were on the board. I will say now the kid from Oregon that we're talking about, he did quote tweet as well. The he had the little purple demon emoji, so he was excited about him coming in here as well too. You know, so yeah, man, we'll see. Like I said, if they just carry 6, that's going to be an intense battle. Now, as Paris Campbell, like you could probably get. So, but the other guys though will be very indifferent and see, you know, where this thing kind of lies. And I don't really understand. I ain't got no food out here, and all of a sudden, yeah, I'm like, bro, there's a lot of black over here. I guess to get some smoke going. Nick Spooney, we have 1 week till the official schedule release. Yeah, May 14th, absolutely, and then we'll get the marching orders. Spoon, we'll get the marching orders as to when and where. We got to pull up and get these games knocked out and see how that operates. 8 home games, 9 road games.
100%. You know, the Kansas City Chiefs, you know, of course, we don't know the date yet, but the Chiefs game, that's got me kind of intriguing. Chiefs and Cowboys. So we'll talk about that one. But real quick note to the chat. So upon the George Pickens trade, BJ was so kindly to share with Cowboy Nation the George Pickens hoodie. But they got the Cowboy. I forgot what it's called. It's called the Vala something. So he was
the Shiesty.
He was. This is Shiesty Wednesday now. Shiesty Wednesday. Remember that, y'all.
Yeah.
So he shares with us the link. We go on to the link. It was me and a couple of others. Sold out. BJ bought the last one. Because the minute he bought it,
I might not be got the last one.
No, I think you did. Because the minute you posted, I was quick to go on the link and it says sold out. I'm like, already? So, Shiesty Wednesday. There you go, BJ.
Yeah, I just went and purchased it. And I asked for the link. I said, "Oh yeah, let me drop the link." And I dropped the link, and everybody's telling me it's sold out. I was like, "Well, I got one. I don't. My bad. I don't know." I think I wasn't the only one thinking about getting the Shiesty with the George Pickens trade. Obviously, when it comes to that. King says, "Who do you think will be the first game? You think they'll give us a Giants like they usually do?" Well, David gave us a Giants. Let's see, when did you get the Giants last year, right? Year before we did.
That's the first game of the season.
Year before was at 40-0.
Yeah, that was like.
Who did we get last year? Yeah.
Cleveland was last year. First game at Cleveland.
Browns on the road last year. Man, what a glorious start to the season when we went to Cleveland, huh? Yeah.
Well, so there's a rumor going out. Sorry, there was a rumor going out that that Stephen just had an interview, and he kind of bleeped out. We didn't get our roster ready for the Giants, but he quickly turned around. I forgot where it was at, but somebody had brought it up. So the rumor would have been Cowboys at New York Giants Monday Night Football. If that was the case, I don't know how true that is, but we'll find out on the 14th. But I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if you play any of the NFC East teams week one. That just for what the teams did last year, for what the Cowboys did this offseason, it's a good matchup. It's a good hype thing. So I wouldn't be surprised. Giants, Washington, or Philly week one.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Somebody saw the interview. G. Lewis, you back me up on that. Yep. He saw the interview. Yep. So that would be the Giants week one Monday Night Football. If he made a mistake.
Word up, because there's been some rumbling based NFL UK Jets versus Cowboys in London that would take away one of your New York games out there, Spoon, if that was to happen.
Yeah, it would. But you know what? I don't mind speaking another language.
Well, I mean, you're not speaking no language in London.
Yeah, I go to London. Hey. Hello, mate.
Get some fish and chips out there in London.
There you go. So we'll see about that. But
no problems there. Yeah, I'm excited though. Yeah, I'm definitely excited for the schedule to get released, and see where this thing lies for sure. Right. But I mean, hey man, look, if it's Monday Night Football opening week, oh my God, we gotta wait. The NFL week, week one kicks off on Thursday. We get that taste. Right. We get all that Sunday, and we gotta wait all the way to Monday. Man.
DJ. Now here's the thing: we do have a ritual because the last time we opened a Monday Night Football was against Philadelphia. We had a great time.
It's true. It was a good game.
40 burgers. Yeah. Now, listen, if for some reason, if the schedule comes out that the Giants play at Dallas Monday Night Football,
yeah, we might have to pull up. Might have to pull up. We'll see. It definitely wasn't packed during the Bengals game this year when I pulled up. It was empty. There was nobody there. But we'll see. New year, Pickens in the building, new energy. It might change the vibes a little bit. New coaching staff. It might change the vibes a little bit.
Are you gonna wear the Pickens hat, the mask? You gonna wear the whole come in there, rip it up?
Yeah, the shiesty. They get
Yeah,
the shiesty. Yeah. They come out there
yeah,
with the shiesty with the cowboy hat on.
yeah,
Why not?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
There you
man.
go. There you go. And listen, this is
Yeah,
fun
that
for
that would
everybody,
definitely
man. This is
that
fun for everybody, and I just keep hoping that the for the next moves, whatever they got in store, keep adding to this roster. You know, the fans. It's good to see the fans just happy for the moment, and we needed this. We all needed this just as fans to see something they're doing something good. I just can't wait. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
most
Man,
definitely. Most
United
definitely.
Kingdom.
Um, to the X's and O's of things, and I was kind of going around, and I mean,
Mhm.
like for like the yards per catch for Pickens, first in the league with the amount of catches and yards that he had for the past 3 years.
Right.
I think AJ Brown was second behind him, average over 16.7 yards, or right at 16.7 yards per catch
Right.
for Pickens. They were kind of talking about three of the highest rated routes, when it comes to Dak and what he throws, and then
Right.
they looked at what the three best routes that Pickens ran last year, which was the non-go route, up, out route, and hitch. And those are the three highest routes that he ran. Again, building a guy that and inserting a guy that works well with what Dak likes to do. And then you kind of think of
Right.
some things where you can have, if you want to look, you want to run Mingo all the way out one side, you got, Pickens all the way out one side, non-routes and crash outs if you want to. And then you allow, that boy Lamb to kind of operate the middle of the field. He's a sniper in the middle of the field there. Boy,
Mhm.
just what exciting thought process and lineup that can be for you. And the other side too, we talk about what Pickens brings to the table from the wide receiver perspective. Willing blocker, right? Physical, wants to get after it, just kind of how Mingo is as well too, and that's going to help your run game. So it's not just something here where we have a certifiable two that should be able to rotate some of that coverage away and not allow, or not allow them to bracket Lamb all the time. But in the run game, he's going to be a difference maker as well. Just a supreme get, the type of player that you get, at 24 years old. And there's some things that comes with that back. Yeah, sure, a little bit. Is it things that ultimately should deter you from acquiring a guy like that? No. And the Cowboys went out here and got the job done. You just got to give shout to shout to Shoddy, right? The Shoddy effects and just how he's attacked it from the onset. How he's talked about what he
Mhm.
wants to do with the team and get after it, and how they put this thing together so far. And even going back to when he was pounding the table about, hey, no red flags in round two, whether it's medical or other. We can't
Right.
do those things, right? And we've talked about that a lot with the Cowboys that are second round picks because look, if they'd taken Rebel, right, and at 44, nobody bats an eye. Wow, we did the surgery, the whole nine, right? Checks the
Right.
box, but they didn't. They take Izaraku instead, all right? No red flags whatsoever. Now Ravel falls all the way to you to 76 anyway, so you feel great about that and how that panned out for you. But that's the Shoddy effect. He talks about that. We can't do that this way. And then going out here and getting Pickens on the back end and understanding what he can do for this team. Once again, just communicating very well with the front office and understanding the vision of what he's trying to build here in year one and get it over the hump. And
Right.
the front office being very flexible. The scouting department, Will McClay, getting the job done and building that board a particular way for them. And you end up ultimately with three guys in the first three picks of the draft that are top 30 guys on most consensus boards. You get a difference maker in round five, your very next pick, when you get Blue and a weapon, and then come out of this thing. Okay, you need a wide receiver. A week and a half later after the draft, you come out here today and you go get George Pickens.
Yeah.
Just a
Great.
great week and a half here of how
Yeah.
they've attacked it. Been a plan, though, Spin Rock. We went about what's the identity? What's the plan? I think it was very easy to see throughout this process here that Shoddy and the coaching staff had a particular set of players and things they want to accomplish and a plan, team building, not collecting talent. And today's a little bit of the icing on the cake, if you will, as it comes from what they did in the draft to today, getting that guy here and where we feel about the roster moving forward.
Yeah, 100%. And the good thing what Pickens brings also, to add on to what you were saying earlier, is that 50-50 ball. You know, Dak now has a type of guy like he had in Des Bryant. To if I gotta throw it deep and I trusted my receiver to go up and get it, Pickens would give you that. While Lamb could work underneath. They both will never face double team. They shouldn't face double team at all. So it pretty much helps out. Helps out with the run game. It helps out with the whole offense, period. As long as everybody follows their assignments and everybody's healthy. That's the big thing. And you know, with the draft, you know, some scouts had Vavell as the best cornerback in the draft if he wasn't injured. He's a first or just a first round guy. That's a plus. Donovan is a Zaraki. Same thing with him. Some people felt he was a second pass rusher.
Zaraku. Is a rock.
I'm gonna call him DE. Defensive end DE. DE.
Just think about Michael Jackson. I want to rock with you. Is Araku.
Araku. All right. Donovan Araku.
Is Araku.
Donovan is Araku. It's Araku. There you go.
There we go.
So some consider him the second best pass rusher in the draft after Abdul Carter. Not all scouts, some scouts. So the thing is, when you like BJ said, when you're able to put three guys that you drafted, they all under that top 50 board, and I'm pretty much they were higher other people's draft board. We was able to collect that. That's great. We have no injury concerns, no red flags like as we had in the past with second round guys that really didn't last long here. The Cowboys did go a different approach in a different way, and they went aggressive, but making all the right picks. And then, in my opinion, between free agency with some of the trades, the acquisitions, when it came down to the draft itself, we rated a B plus, we rated an A minus, an A, and now with this Pickens, this is something great. This is something great for the whole team. And you know what's next? Are they going to improve the defense by bringing another corner? You know, like maybe Gilmore, or make a trade for another player who's in the AFC East? We never know. I'm not trying to speculate. I'm just putting out there. There are other guys namely available, and you know this team is still want to add pieces. So let's see what they have. But is that BJ? I didn't say his name.
Yeah, you being messy. I see you.
We want some more candy.
Yeah. I mean, look, man, just listen. Look. Here, let me help. Look, how about, what if you could just do this? What if, I'm going to help you out. Just, today you got Pickens, right? Just, here, man. Just celebrate and have a good time. Not a cool in the game. There you go. You go, Spoon. Get a little wahoo, yeah. There you go. Spoon said, no, go get me Jalen Ramsey now. Said, no, it's not. George Pickens is not enough. Now I want Jalen Ramsey.
I'm about to put out the hashtag route. Hashtag route again. Bring that out.
You go route it? You going to route it?
I'm going to have to route that
Spoon,
one.
You know what? Right, you got to be careful when you hit the routes.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes they don't come through. Yeah, man, but we happy. Good times. It's a good time to be a Cowboy fan. No lie about that. The one thing, besides looking at Pickens' stats, highlights, is also listen to the fans. You have a lot of fans who, I'm not trolling and nothing like that, but a lot of fans who put time out to put videos up of how they felt about Pickens being traded. They didn't like it. A lot of fans came out and started saying, hey, he's the best player on the team. This is crazy. So when you hear all those things about a player being traded, it kind of tells you how they felt about him. And those are the things that matter.
Hold on for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joseph. Word is Simmons really wants to go join the Eagles. So, just going to put that out there now. Simmons looks like he's really on the wanting to go join the Eagles. Also, too, I don't think they're going to add a safety. I mean, they re-signed everyone. It kind of is where it's at. They got Clark, who signed one of the bigger contracts. So I think, he has opportunity to make it here, but inside of that, I don't think that's happening. David, I just got you added, brother. Welcome to the Wrench Gang. Everybody clap it up for my guy. David, been supporting the channel for a very long time. Mr. Jenkins, who just did have a birthday, and he's officially a mod. Welcome to Wrench Gang, brother. You are now in the building. I'll get him up there. Boom. Yeah, I mean, I think, look, maybe they, at the cut deadline, right? Maybe some one tech, maybe a strong side defensive end or whatnot. I see the linebacker there from King Kendricks. I think they feel pretty good about linebacker at the moment, though. You got Murray Sanborn in here. They got an undrafted guy as well coming out of Syracuse. Where's Overshown at? We'll wait and see. Obviously, still got Damone Clark here. Year 2 of Maurice Leofau. So I think linebacker they're pretty golden on that front at the moment. So, but we'll see. Like I said, I mean, today's all about the shiesty. It's all about Pickens and where it's at, and ultimately, a little over 2 months away from training camp. Let's just knock out some contracts, y'all. Right? I mean, I think that's where I'm at. Let's get the Micah deal knocked out. Let's figure out some of these guys that are on 1-year deals. And look, Stephen Jones, prior to the draft, said, man, they would like to get a Bland and a Ferguson deal done. Okay, where they want to be at on Tolbert, and I'm not sure. I absolutely would love to get the Pickens deal. It seems like right now, in all the reports, that the Pickens is just going to play out, and they're going to kind of go from there and take the long route, if you will, on him. But some of these other guys, though, sure. I mean, just knock it out and get it done is what I'd like to see them do, at the end of the day. But neither here nor there, Simone. It's a great day to be a Cowboys fan, right? It's great to be a part of Cowboys Nation. They land a big fish, right? Probably the biggest splash we've seen since the Mark Cooper at the trade deadline, where they spent the first-round pick. I will leave with a parting shot, though, if you don't mind, because we did get a shiesty, right? Shiesty, as I'm over here in my Georgia Bulldog Cowboy colors, since we got us a Bulldog on the team today in Pickens, right? And we always hear about a ski mask. We got the shiesty. We hear about the ski mask Howie over there, right, in Philly. I'm just going to throw it out there. Didn't Philly trade for a wide receiver last year?
Yes, they did.
Didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Who did they trade for? Do you remember who they traded for?
Yes, I did. Jahan Dotson.
Yeah. Hey, what they send Washington for Jahan Dotson?
3rd round pick. Was it 3rd round pick? No, 2nd round pick, right?
Was it 3rd? No, it was a 3rd. It was a 3rd.
Third. Okay, 3rd round pick.
What did the Cowboys send for Pickens?
3rd.
I mean, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, I guess, for what it's worth. Take the dubs where we can get them, per se. Again, hopefully it's a long-term marriage between Pickens and the Cowboys, right? And we get a nice little 3 to 4 season run, including 25 season of Pickens, Lamb, and Dak Prescott together as we move forward. Spoonie, last word from you before we get out of here.
Well, Cowboys Nation, the Dallas Cowboys front office dominated, and now we're going to celebrate. That's it.
I can dig that. All right, I can dig that. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you as always for tuning in on Shiesty Wednesday, George Pickens Day. Hope everybody's having a fantastic hump day on this Wednesday. If you're anywhere else outside of YouTube, shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure you make your way over here, just like on Twitter X. You see my name, your Guy Nix. Find me over here on YouTube as we're running the As the Star Turns podcast over this way. So come over, hit that sub, $3.99 to tell a friend and share. $3.99 to tell a friend to tell a friend. And of course, over there we'll be doing the spaces as well too. So yeah, man, good day to be. Enjoy, run your victory laps, if you will. Deserve it. It's been a while, huh? It's been a while. With that being said, man, we'll get out of here and stay tuned.